Hey everybody, it's Greg, and it's another edition of Unbreakable Podcast. It's Hump Day, Wednesday, February 25th. We said whose birthday it is today. Here comes the sun. It's my favorite Beatles song of all time. Written by the great George Harrison. Yes, it's George Harrison's birthday. Happy birthday, George Harrison. I love George Harrison, the quiet Beatles, the thoughtful Beatles. Can't wait, they're making those four Beatle movies, individual movies, and I can't wait to see the George Harrison. You guys, he was a very interesting guy. He was sort of in the background. He played that Rickenbacker guitar, but he was always just I don't know, just the very mystical, very mysterious, very Patty Boyd, who he met on the location of on the train. They filmed the train scene our days now. That she was one of the schoolgirls on the train, flirted with her, ended up marrying her, blah. Used to live at a mansion called Friar Park. Harrison loved gardening, nature, agriculture. In fact, he did a lot of around Friar Park, he did a lot of gardening himself. His son said he remembers there were times in the moonlight, in the evening, in the summer, George Harrison would be out there planting trees, taking care of the grass and the plants and the flowers. I just miss him. You got to wonder what he'd be thinking about these days. Would he still be making music? No matter what. Other my guitar gently weeps, something. Yeah, he was a great songwriter. And he was like, because George and Paul, or John and Paul were such brilliant songwriters, George was sort of in the background long time. But once he got a chance to develop his songwriting and flourish, he turned out to be a brilliant song. Listen to this. It's all right. I love this ending. And this is a song we still sing. I think doesn't have good. And here comes the sun. I think is very much adored and cherished now than it was way back in the late 60s when it was released. It's iconic, and a lot of people say it's their favorite Beatles song because it makes you feel good. It gives you a lot of hope. But the spring is coming out in this stupid blizzard that we just had. It gives you a lot of hope for the spring. So, happy birthday, George Harrison. And never anybody don't care. And of course, after the Beatles broke up, he had so much successful music. All Things Must Pass. So many great records. And died too soon, too. In the late 90s and cancer. So, happy birthday, George. Now, have you been hearing about this monkey in Japan? Punch. Punch, the monkey. Well, officially, I had to put my glasses on. Officially, Punch is what they call a baby at Calicu. That Punch lives in a zoo on Monkey Island, that Monkey Mountain, near Tokyo, Japan. Punch was born July 26, 2025. Last year, he's only 7 months old. He's not even a year. And he's gone viral in the last week. Why? Because apparently, soon after he was born, his mother, for some reason, shunned him. Didn't want anything to do with him. He was raised by the zookeepers, the people who work with the monkeys there at at the zoo near Tokyo. What they did recently, though, they gave Punch a stuffed animal. It's an orangutan that they bought at an IKEA in Japan. They paid $16 for it. It's big as Punch. It's a big orange, bright orange orangutan. Well, since then, Punch has been cuddling up to them, and they call the orangutan actually has a name. What is the name? Oh, there it is. Orababa. Orababa. So Baba. Orababa. Orababa is Punch's toy, but Punch acts like it's his mama. He cuddles with it, he sleeps with it, he drags it around the monkey mountain by the hand, drags it. Oh my God, it's so cute. He feels so bad because Punch is sort of on his own. All these other monkeys there, man, don't want anything to do. But the good news is Punch is slowly coming in with the other monkeys. They're starting to accept, and maybe because they saw Oramabi and said, oh, well, if she's going to accept him, we could too. So they're starting to do stuff. Like the other day, they had on viral Punches like picking bugs out of another monkey's fur, which is good. It sounds weird, but it's good because that means that Punch is starting to interact with the other monkeys and they're starting to accept him into the fold. So, it's good to see. But this has gone viral all around the world. People are crying and they know Punch. Well, several things about it. First of all, Oramabi, the stuffed animal, has sold out. All in the key is all in Australia. Sold out. They usually sell like 400 of the stuffed animals a week. They would sell them double, 900. Everybody wants to have a Oramabi. But what's happened, how things happen, greed and things. Now, other people have Oramabi and they were selling them all, sometimes for $40, $50 on eBay. The orangutan stuffed animal, same one from IKEA. People are greedy. $150. Become, what the heck? Anyway, and people are flocking to the zoo to see Punch. And the officials there have said, you could come see Punch, but they've had to make it like almost like a scheduling thing, because they're worried too many people are going to run the monkey mountain just to see Punch. And they said to people, you got to be quiet when you're visiting, but you don't want to upset Punch or the other animals around, So they're trying to control the people. It's like Punch mania. It's almost like Beetle mania. Punch mania. And it's just the cutest thing. So hopefully they keep, maybe they have Punch Cam. They have Earth Cam. We could see all places around the world, Las Vegas, Abbey Road, New Orleans, see what's happening every minute of the day. Or maybe they'll have Punch Cam. You can just look and see what Punch is doing. Maybe they already do. I don't know. But it'll be interesting. The monkey is only 7 months old. So, you could watch it grow. Well, watch it grow and just celebrate. Yeah, it's a feel-good story. And we need that. We need more feel-good stories. Stories that will make us cry. Stories that will make us sing. And stories that will give us hope. So, that's good. I think it's good. I'm a big Punch fan. If they had a T-shirt that said Punch for president, Punch, long live Punch, I would get one. Anyway, so that's our punch story. But we'll keep an eye on that as time goes on. Let's see if how our little buddy is doing over there in Japan. Um, what else is going on? Oh, speaking of punch, did you see Floyd Merriweather is coming out of retirement? The guy is 40, 50 years old. Alexa, how old is Floyd Merriweather?
Floyd Mayweather Jr. is 49 years old.
49 freaking years old. And he's coming out to fight Manny Pacquiao. He's probably just as old, maybe older than Dirk, that Manny Pacquiao. Jeez. And they're fighting. And it's like, what? I mean, 40, who wants to pay? People won't pay because they're just crazy. They'll pay to see two old guys like that, middle-aged guys, okay, duke it out in the ring, you know? I would be like, instead of being afraid of getting hit, you'd have to take bathroom breaks in between rounds. After the end of 2 rounds, you let the one guy go pee and the other guy too. You know, that's what happens when you do one. Anyway, so I can just imagine Floyd Merriweather's punch at 49 years old. You ready? This is my imitation of Floyd Merriweather's punch at 49 years old. Ready? That's when Merriweather's punch. 49. So I'm thinking, all right, they'll have I think the match is in September. So they'll have this match. And then they'll have another one when these guys are like 88. You know, don't call it the revenge of the walkers, the revenge of the wheelchairs or something. They'll be in the ring fighting in wheelchairs like me. I don't know. Anyway, so you know, the last couple of times I've been on, we've talked about baseball because spring training is in full force. The World Baseball Classic will be starting up soon. And I've given you my whatever they're worth predictions on who's going to win the divisions this year. And we already talked American League West. I told you Seattle Mariners are going to win that division. And not only that, the Mariners are going to win the series. I believe it. The Mariners are going to win the whole American League. We don't want to jump ahead of ourselves, of course, but I think the Mariners are going to get to the series. And then we talked about National League West. And I said, well, who else but the Dodgers? And the Dodgers were like Godzilla, crushing all these other teams. Speaking of Japan and Tokyo, just don't step on my little buddy punch, Dodgers. And the Dodgers are just too good. Come on. And then last time we talked about American League Central. And we said the Tigers, the Tarek Skubal Tigers are nobody else can challenge them in the league situation. It's too good. I saw Tarek Skubal when the Tigers came into Philadelphia last year. I was there, and we were just lucky enough to be at the game. Like Tarek Skubal, like this, not Screwball, Tarek Skubal, the best pitcher in baseball, went against Zach Wheeler, our pitcher. And I remember they both struck out 10 batters that game. How often do you get a game where the two starting pitchers against each other strike out 10 batters each? Incredible. Screwball struck out like the first 6 films. You know, he's an animal. So now we're up to National League Central. And then we only have 2 more divisions to do. Now, National League Central, a lot of people are picking the Cubs. And I like the Cubs because they have good hitting. Everybody talks about pitching, and I agree. Pitching is the name of the game, especially when you get into the playoffs. You have to have solid pitching. you got hit too, as the Phillies can attest to. It seems like every time the Phillies get into the postseason, their bats go ice cold. They can't get a look. With that said, the Cubs, I think, have everything. They have pitching, they have hitting. They just signed Alex Bregman, third baseman. It might be the Cubbies' year. Bill Murray will be out there, in Wrigley Field. But maybe the Cubs here. You got to respect the Brewers because they've won it the last few years, and they're always a contender. They have some good young players, but they have lost a few players, including Freddie Peralta, the starting pitcher who went to the stinking Mets. Who else? The Pirates I think they're going to be a good young team soon. They're not your grandfather's Pirates that sucked. The Pirates have good pitching, led by Paul Skeens. And I think the Pirates are going to do what they can. I don't think they're going to take the division. They're not there yet. But I think they're going to be a lot better. The Cardinals suck. There's no reason to talk like that. They're in rebuild, which is surprising because usually St. Louis has a good team. But not this year, not this year. That leaves the only team left, who I think is going to be the upset team of the of baseball this year. The Cincinnati Reds. Yep, you heard it first. Cincinnati. Not only do they have great starting pitching, in fact, their pitching is rated top five in baseball. Pitching units. But they can hit, and they signed Suarez, the third baseman, the guy who hit 49 home runs last year for Seattle. He's back with Cincinnati. I think one of the reasons why I like Cincinnati this year is a surprise is because they got the best manager, Terry Francona. Is managing the Reds, and to me, I think Francona is the best manager of in that division. So just that alone, they have some good young players. Ellie De La Cruz. I think the Reds are going to take that division. Well, I just think they will. I don't know. Something tells me they will. So I would say Cincinnati and Chicago Cubs will make the playoffs as a wild card team, and the rest of the teams will be runners up. Yeah. So next time I'm on, we'll do American League East, including the Yankees, or let's see where they fall. And finally, 2 shows from now, we'll do National League East with our Phillies. Am I going to be a homer and pick the Phillies to win the division for 3 straight years? Am I? Probably, but we'll see. They not. No, we'll have to talk about these Phils. Do you believe the Phillies have been playing Grapefruit League games now for almost a week and then not won a game? But don't let that upset you or depress you, because the games mean nothing, thank God. They're practice games, preseason games. So it would be nice to win a game, but it builds the winning culture, right? We don't want to lose like 20 games in spring training. That's not good. And apparently Bryce Harper sat down with Dave Dombrowski and the GM, and they hashed it out. Apparently they had a meeting, all this back sniping, they're calling each other, you're not a me, and you're not this, and blah, blah, blah. Well, apparently they hashed it out. So that's good. Because we don't need all this drama. The season's going to be starting in a month. You don't need all that drama. The thing is, we're going to start the season and win ball games. So the Phillies can win the division again and put themselves in a position where they will get into the playoffs and go deep into the playoffs. We're going into the World Series this year. They can get by the stinking, rotten Dodgers. Ugh. I think, but So that's baseball. Huh? I can't wait. Spring with all the snow out there, the spring is literally right around the corner. And as I say that, we have two more storms on the way. I think one on Friday, one Monday, one Wednesday. And when's it going to end? Well, the thing is this. Sunday is March the 1st. Can you believe it? We're almost in February. And once we get into March, the time changes next weekend. The sun angle is too high in the sky. It's going to melt a lot of the snow on the ground. Temperatures are going to start to get warmer because of the vernal equinox, whatever that does. And no matter what, the flip side, the world is turning, so we're going to get the worst, and it's going to sink to the place. You heard of fear for that. It happens every year. It happens. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. Which I'm not. All right, one thing, don't forget what book is out. Stronger Than Bone. And the audio book is down. Just came out 2 days ago. And you got to check that out because it is narrated, not by me, but by this guy with the golden voice, Olin. And he's got this. Does anybody know John Facenda? If you're from the Delaware, like I live here in Philly, John Facenda. He used to do the evening news on Channel 10, CBS Channel 10, here in Philly. But you would also know him, especially people all around the world, as doing the NFL films all those years ago. He had that voice, that music. There goes Jesse Jurgensen throwing another ball. If you heard him, you would know. Hey, this guy who's narrating the book, he sounds, he's got that golden voice there. And it's still a trip, I tell you. It is still a trip to listen to this guy and listen to the words that I wrote that he's actually reading. That's like, really? Duh. Oh. So if you get a chance, please check it, okay? I would appreciate it. Stronger Than Bone. So, I'm going to go, but I will be back, as I would say, said. I will be back. And enjoy some baseball today. The Phillies were on TV. They're playing at 1 o'clock in Clearwater against the Detroit Tigers in 2 hours from now. And Flyers, there you go. Start up again tonight. We're playing down in Washington against the Capitals. The Sixers won last night. They're playing at home tomorrow night against Miami Heat. Big game because Miami is right behind the Sixers in the standings for the sixth seed in the East. As you know, the top 6 spots get into the playoffs. So the Sixers got to hang on here. So we'll see what happens. Olympics are over. It's time to get back down to the nitty-gritty. And baseball is starting soon. And then you have the NFL draft. The combines are starting. All kinds of sports. And the golf, motor racing. Pretty soon will be Kentucky Derby horse racing time. I love this time. Springtime. Oh man, I can't wait. I'm cracking the paint lesson. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody out there, peace and love. I'll talk to you again soon. Happy birthday, George Harrison. If you get a chance today, put some Beatles on, put some George Harrison on, and celebrate George's birthday. See you.